with you 5 tips that you can apply when you feel overwhelmed. How are you doing today? Hey everyone! I don't know about you, but I am feeling overwhelmed. Sam Perception says right on time. I was feeling overwhelmed the last few days, and I decided to do a scope on this topic. Uncluttered Now says me too. Whew. Oily Nurse Needus has been there for sure. So let's all take a deep breath. Ready? Breathe in, breathe out. That is the first step, I think, to overcoming overwhelm. But I'm going to share with you 5 specific steps, and these were steps that I took myself today to overcome overwhelm. And if any of these resonate with you, if you find value with this scope, I'd appreciate that you'd share it with your followers. You can just click the little man and share it with your followers. And I would love for you to follow me if these topics of writing, publishing, and marketing, growing a business are of interest to you. So I have a cheat sheet of the 5 things I'm going to talk about, and I will go through them one by one. The first thing that I recommend when you feel overwhelmed is to listen to music. My mom has a master's degree in music therapy, and there is a lot of research that shows that music can be therapeutic. How many of you know that? You can put on a playlist and all of a sudden be transported into a different mood. Yeah, music is great. Now, there's a little tip. I don't know how many of you have Amazon Prime. Yes, yeah, thanks Uncluttered. Don't forget to share hearts if you are enjoying the content. And you guys, here are some hearts back to you. So I'm giving you hearts as well for being here. All of the rebroadcast watchers and listeners, I appreciate you as well. I'm giving those hearts to all of you. So music. My mom's she has a degree in music therapy, and there's so much research to show that music can be therapeutic. Thanks Uncluttered Now. Yeah, you're welcome for the hearts. And I have another surprise for you later about the hearts once we get through some of the content. But those of you that are Amazon Prime members, there's a little known thing that I didn't know. One of my entrepreneur friends told me about, and she told me that, on Amazon Prime, you also have access to music. Yes, music therapy is used a lot with children with disabilities and other people. Prime rocks, yes. So you guys, if you have Amazon Prime, you have access to tons and tons of music, commercial free. Now, I love Pandora. I love other places to get music, but this is commercial free. You can set up your own playlists. You can have certain songs that just really resonate with you. And then what I recommend doing is setting up a playlist for when you are overwhelmed, and choose the specific songs that really, really speak to you, really calm you, really help you. And maybe another playlist for a motivation playlist. Like the music I played in the beginning, I love this music. Let me play it again for you guys. I love it. It has just like a fun beat to it. Yeah, and some music can get you motivated too. And you know the songs, you know the things that connect with you. That song connected with me. It's a royalty-free song that I have permission to use on this live broadcast, and I'm going to start playing it on my Periscope so that when you guys hear that music, you think of me. You think of that, and that represents my personality and who I am. It's upbeat, but create a playlist for motivation, those songs that just get you going. Create a playlist for the calming, inspirational times when you're just feeling overwhelmed and stressed and you don't need that rocky music, you just need the calming music. And you guys, if you have Amazon Prime, go right now and check out their music. I have really been enjoying it. And when I feel overwhelmed, I will just put on my earphones, I will play one of my playlists, and it transports me. For those of you that are Christian entrepreneurs, I love playing worship music because it really helps me to refocus my heart into why I'm doing what I'm doing, the purpose of what I'm doing, and to refocus back on God, that He is my strength. He is my source. I'm not doing this on my own. It's not about self-sufficiency. So tip number 1 is music. Got to look at my notes here. Tip number 2 is to take a mini break. Sometimes we just need 30 minutes away from our desk, from our stuff, to take a little break. Amazon has just launched their music streaming service in the UK, free for Prime users. Awesome. Yes, I love the streaming music on Prime. No commercials, and you can choose what you want. Yeah, Google Playlists. Oh, also commercial free. Awesome. There's so many great resources out there for music that you can tap into. I just recommend that you take action and create at least one playlist that, sometimes when you're overwhelmed, you just can't think of what to do. All you have to do, put your earphones on and press play. You don't have to think. You don't have to even think what to write out or anything. Just start listening to the music and, just get into that mode. The second tip is to take a mini break. By a mini break, I mean like 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be amazing. It can just help you. Yes, Raleigh Girl says it gives you the chance to focus elsewhere or nowhere. Right. So what you can do, I love to go on walks. I live in Colorado Springs, close to Garden of the Gods Park. You guys, it's amazing where I live. It's so beautiful. I just walk down the street in my neighborhood. I see Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods. It transports me into another place. I get to breathe in fresh oxygen because sometimes, in your office, you're just breathing recycled air if your windows aren't open. I get vitamin D from the sun. I just can take a break from the computer. So for some of you, it may mean that you just want to sit in silence and not have to think about anything or do anything. Maybe a little nap. Maybe it's that you're reading a book just for fun. It's not a business book. It's not even a spiritual book. It's just a for fun, transport me to somewhere else book for 30 minutes. Take a little break. My mom, for her, it's a bath. She loves a bath, and just getting in there and relaxing, whatever it is for you, write out right now, if you can, if you're not driving or somewhere else, write out 1 or 2 things that you can do to take a mini break when you are just stressed or overwhelmed. Maybe it's just having a cup of coffee. Sometimes for me, guys, I just will stop. I'll make a cup of coffee and I'll call my mom on the phone. Go to the thrift store, Liz says. Yes, I'm a thrifter too. I love that. So whatever it is for you, find something that can just help you take your mind away. Breathe, tea on the porch. I love that. Yes, something like that will just, and just shut off your brain, shut off your mind, shut off your computer and your phone for a minute, unless you're calling someone just to have a little break. And do it for 30 minutes. Play your guitar, Kurt. I love it. Yes. So that is the second tip. The first tip was to listen to music. And I really highly recommend that you create a specific playlist for different moods that you're in. So if you're overwhelmed, have that peaceful one. If you're needing motivation, the more upbeat one. Yeah, you could take a nap, Oily Nurse Nita says. The second tip is to take a 30-minute mini break. Do something that you love that just nurtures you, that self-care, that just moment to shut your mind off from what you're doing. The third tip is once you've kind of gotten back into the flow of the right mindset is to do a brain dump. I love brain dumps. I always have a million things going up on my head. Anyone else with me? Any other entrepreneurs out there that you just, your mind is always going, and you have so many ideas and so many projects and so many things that it just gets pretty noisy in your own mind, in your own brain. And so what I love to do is I love to do a brain dump. I have a whiteboard in my condo that I'll just do a brain dump on sometimes. Yeah, a brain dump whiteboard is awesome. I have different color markers I use. Sometimes I will use a mind map online, but lately I've been doing a lot of my brain dumping offline so that I can get off of the computer for a minute, because when I'm overwhelmed, sometimes sitting at my computer almost makes me feel more overwhelmed. I don't know if any of you are like that or not. You can also just do it on a piece of paper. So today I was feeling overwhelmed. Take a deep breath. And I did a brain dump on my notebook. I just started writing out all the different projects I have going on. And if you notice, the one with all the long steps on there, that's for launching my podcast. You know what this gave me? It gave me clarity because first of all, it showed me, yeah, all these different projects and these things I have going on at the same time. Sometimes it's not great to be doing too many things at one time. Have you heard the little proverb that says if you try to chase 2 rabbits at once, you won't catch either of them? So it's good to focus on one thing, finish it, and then move to the next thing. And I normally try to do that, but lately I've had several things all going at the same time. And sometimes that works, but most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it just leads to overwhelm and feeling paralyzed, like, oh, I don't even know what to do next. So the biggest thing that I realized I have on my plate right now is my podcast launch. I've been wanting to do this since the beginning of the year, and it's finally time, but I'm feeling overwhelmed because there's so many little steps to getting it ready. You know, they say you need to have 10 episodes or 5 episodes ready before you submit to iTunes, and then you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, I have my artwork, I have my intro, outro, I have my first 5 episodes, the main content ready, but I'm feeling overwhelmed. Yes. So, Kurt, you're getting ahead of me. That's my next tip, is then to prioritize. So, I did a brain dump. I brain dumped everything on here. And then what you can do, tip number 4, is to prioritize. And yeah, Kurt, you know, hey, they say great minds think alike, right? So we're on the same wavelength here. My roommate in physical therapy school, I was a physical therapist for 12 years before I quit my job 4 years ago to become a full-time entrepreneur and work in our ministry. My roommate in physical therapy school used to say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? And we are on the same track, Kurt. You're picking up what I'm putting down. So we're getting it. So the 4th tip that I have for you is once you do the brain dump is to prioritize. Now this is where it can get a little tricky because there's the thing of urgent versus important. And those things that sometimes seem so urgent, we have to do them right now, maybe are not the most important. And I just was at a Toastmasters meeting last week where someone did a speech on urgent versus important, and they used that visual image, I love it, of the 3 rocks, and then you have the pebbles, and then the sand. And the sand is all those urgent things, the things that we could fill up our day doing all day, every day, and really don't move us further towards our goals. The little pebbles are important, but not quite as important. And then those 3 big rocks are the biggest, most important things to help move us forward towards our goals. Yes, and oily nurse Nita, you are on my, you must have seen my checklist. Did you see so urgent versus important? I put it right on there. That's the other thing I recommend doing during the prioritization phase is to pray. Those of you that are Christians, that are Christian entrepreneurs, ask God. You know, once you have that brain dump, yes, once again, great minds think alike. Once you have prioritized and you have, you've done the brain dump, you've put everything, it's time to prioritize. One of those things that I do is to pray and to ask God, okay, what is it that you would want me to spend my time doing today? And what are the rocks? Because sometimes, we can say, okay, we have these big rocks. Those are the things that are most important to moving us towards our goals. But it's hard sometimes to really identify them when you're feeling overwhelmed. Everything feels urgent at the moment. And that's the way I feel right now. It's like everything feels urgent, and yet I know it's not. And what I was realizing when I was prioritizing and looking through, there are a few things I need to do right now. I have a webinar tomorrow night. If you guys are interested in coming, it's shelleyhitz.com/live webinar. I'm going to be going over the 3 book formulas every nonfiction author needs to know. But I have a webinar tomorrow night, so that's a priority. I need to get some of those details, figured out. I already have the presentation. Then I have a local meetup next week with Author Audience Academy members that live in Colorado. They're coming in to Colorado Springs. We're having a local meetup. You can see Author Audience Academy. And so those 2 things are more urgent because there's a time frame. there's a deadline. So look on your list. Is there a deadline for anything on your list? Then look at your list and say, is there anything that I can eliminate? So my fifth tip is actually, it kind of interweaves with the prioritization tip, and it's an acronym called LEAD. So LEAD stands for locate, eliminate, automate, and delegate. So when you locate, that's prioritizing. That's the brain dump. Your brain dump, you're putting that brain dump in, you're getting everything, you're locating. What is it that I really have on my plate right now? Why am I feeling overwhelmed? What are the tasks? What are the projects that I'm working on? You're locating those tasks. Then the E in LEAD is eliminate. Okay, this is serious. Is there anything on your list you can eliminate? Is there something that you're doing that you don't even really need to be doing? It's not helping your overall goals. It's not really something that is important at this time, and you can just eliminate it. Okay, so I was planning, one of my big goals for this year was to do my first live conference, my first live event, Author Audience Live here in Colorado Springs. That was my goal. It was a big goal. I was excited. I love doing live events. I love networking face to face. That's one of the reasons I love Periscope, because I can kind of interact better with you guys. But when I was looking a few weeks ago at everything I had going on, it's like, I need to remove that from my calendar in October so that I can focus on my podcast launch and some of the other things I have going on. Sometimes we think we can do more than we can do. Can I get an amen? And so I have eliminated that from my calendar right now. I'm going to reschedule it for next year. I'm not completely saying I'm never going to do it, but I am eliminating it from my calendar right now. And so, LEAD, locate, that's the brain dump. E, eliminate. There may be things that, you know what, even though you really, really want to do them, either put it off for later, or maybe it's something that it's really not crucial for where you're at right now. The A is to automate. So when you automate, you're able to set up a system that works for you. And that means things like autoresponders in your newsletter list. That means things like ifttt.com, where you set something up to automatically be posted to your Facebook page when something else happens. That means maybe you're using something like Zapier.com and you have different things set up in there. It could be a lot of different things. I also have an automated system in my members program. When someone signs up for authoraudienceacademy.com, they start into a sequence of emails, and I have them automated. I'm not going to have to send them out. I'm not going to have to remember to send them out all the time. They're automated. They will automatically get them every week. There's a different email. And so there's systems that we can sometimes set up to automate the process. There's also ways that we can use templates and things like that. I use a lot of templates in my business, whether it's my YouTube description, I have a template for that. Whether it's a webinar email, I have templates for that. Set up some automation for your business. You will not regret it. And then the D is to delegate. When we're feeling overwhelmed, are there things that we can delegate from this list? Once we do the brain dump, we locate all that stuff. Is there stuff that we can delegate? I confession here, guys, I tend to not be the best at delegating. I'm a solopreneur. How many of you are solopreneurs? If you're a solopreneur type, yes. That just means that you are working in business for yourself, and then you have outsourcers you use. You don't have any full-time employees or part-time employees. So I use outsourcers, but I'm a solopreneur. Kurt says yes. And I think as solopreneurs, it's easy to hold on to tasks that we don't need to be doing. So there's been some tasks recently. I'm just thinking, why am I spending an hour on this graphic? I mean, I can do it. It looks good, but I could just have a graphic designer do it for me, and jump on to Fiverr.com or 99designs.com and hire somebody to do that for me. And that way I'm not taking up that time, for that task. What is your time worth? And if you're spending a lot of your time doing $10 or $15 an hour tasks, and you're able to charge $100 for coaching, or your programs you're able to charge a lot more for your programs and your speaking and things like that, then consider, what can I delegate? It also, I know some of you might be at the beginning of your business where you don't have a ton of cash flow. You have more time than money. So consider ways that you can barter. I've worked with several people recently that I'm in a barter relationship with them. I'm offering them value, and in return, they're offering me value. And so there may be things that you can do, even as a barter. I've been doing that lately for some of the tasks that I need to be done for my podcast. And I'm setting up a system. There's people that are helping me. Like I said, in a barter relationship, we're exchanging value. And, that's another option. You can also have interns and have internships. Now, in that type of relationship, somebody agrees to work with you for a certain amount of time, and you agree to train them in a task. Yeah, Oily Nurse Nita, bartering is great. And it's great when you're just getting started out, but you're feeling overwhelmed. So maybe there's something you're really, really good at, and you can help someone else in that. And in return, they can offer something of value to you. For example, if you see all of my recent headshots, I'm using them everywhere. My podcast, you'll see them in my Periscope profile. I had a photographer from my area contact me and say, hey, I would like to pick your ear. I would like to get some coaching with you for a book. And in exchange, I will give you a photo shoot. I needed new photos. I was like, cool. All right, let's do it. So we exchanged services. She gave me huge value. I love the pictures she did for me. MollyMcMillan.com. Yeah, sweet. And, she reached out to me. So sometimes you can even, if you need something, but you don't have the cash to get it, maybe reach out to that person. What's something of value you could offer to them? And it could be a valuable situation for both of you. That was a barter that worked out amazingly well. So there's so many ways to do it, but let's recap. What to do when you're feeling overwhelmed. Tip number 1, music. I love having playlists that I just go to when I'm feeling overwhelmed or when I need to be motivated. If I'm doing tasks that are just boring to me or monotonous, I'll put on music and I'll put my motivation music on and I'll start tapping my toe. I like to move. I'm a dancer. I like to dance. I never had dance lessons in my life, but I like to move. And so I'll just put my music on and it gets me going. The second tip is to have a mini break, whatever that is. Tea on the porch, playing your guitar, talking to a friend on the phone. Make it about 30 minutes so it's not forever because you still need to move forward. You still need to be productive, but take a little mini break. Number 3 is a brain dump. And you can do a brain dump on your whiteboard, on a notebook, mind mapping software, anywhere really. Number 4 is to prioritize. And I recommend too, when you prioritize, that you also pray. If you are a praying type person, that you do that prayer. I know. And then the 5th one is my acronym LEAD. Let's see. So LEAD stands for locate, eliminate. Eliminate is a good one, guys. Automate and delegate. So that is my 5 tips. And yes, I love this little whiteboard, but then I also have my little index cards too. So if you guys aren't following me on Twitter yet, come follow me at ShelleyHitz.com or Shelley Hitz on Twitter. I'm also Shelley Hitz on Periscope and pretty much any social media platform you'll find. Awesome tips. Tommy says, you're welcome. What other tips do you guys have when you're feeling overwhelmed? Is there anything else that you want to share with us? Because I'm definitely in there with you. I feel overwhelmed at times too. And that's why I'm doing the scope today, because that's where I was today, was feeling overwhelmed. And so if you exercise, yes, that's another great one. So an exercise could even be your 30-minute mini break, or exercise is great stress relief. Liz says, I pull weeds for 20 minutes. Ah, that's great. Deep breathing while praying. Yes, breathing is great. Liz says, clears my mind. Good stuff, Shelley. First time catching your scopes. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll follow my scopes. Yeah, exercise is good. Take a walk. Yes, go for a walk. That's one of my favorites, or a hike. I live in Colorado, so there's tons of trails around me, and I can just literally go out my front door and I'm on a trail and I'm watching Pikes. I'm able to look at Pikes Peak and Garden of the Gods, but even if you don't have all of that great atmosphere, you can still go out, go for a walk, get your vitamin D, take in that oxygen, get the blood flow going, listen to, maybe even while you're walking, listen to your playlist so that you're able to breathe, prioritize. But then you guys, once you find that list, once you have that prioritization list, once you've really gotten insight and clarity, then it's time to start taking action. Success, Sean says, relax with a nice cup of coffee, heading to the beach in a few minutes. Oh, Tommy, that's awesome. I know you live close to the beach. So that is such a great way to take a mini break, to clear your mind, and just take the afternoon off. Yeah, so yesterday, my husband and I had planned a day away. We were planning on going to the Great Dunes, the sand dunes of Colorado, and then there's a little waterfall, Zapata Falls. I almost canceled that because I was feeling so overwhelmed with trying to get my podcast ready. I have a few print books I'm trying to finish and finalize and do some final edits for publication, and I just have several things going on right now. I almost canceled that day away, and I'm so glad I didn't because it helped to clear my mind. And I really think that when we take time away, we actually can be more productive when we come back to work. And so I'm so glad that I didn't. I actually did a scope. If you didn't catch it, I think it's still live, or you can catch it on Catch Me. But I did it from the sand dunes, and so that was fun. But I recommend, you guys, take some deep breaths and play your music and pray. Do what you need to find clarity, prioritize, and to get stuff done, right? I want to help you to cross the finish line. I want to help you to not only have ideas and, but to take action, cross that finish line so that you can reach more people with your message. The only way you'll be able to do that is if you finish what you've started. So it's so important to do that and get started today. I wish you the best in your list today, and I need to go start tackling mine. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure to follow me if you're not already, to get more tips like these for writing, publishing, marketing your books, and growing your business. You're welcome, Raleigh Girl. She says great tips. Thank you. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.